Hi, everybody. Hi. Welcome to Tea Time with Dr. IYABO on a Sunday with my fabulous guests, Toyin and Chioma. Hi, Dr. Falake. Hi, everyone. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Tea Time with Dr. IYABO on a Sunday with my guests, Toyin and Chioma. Dr. Toyin and Chioma Tifal. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Atlanta pollen is still getting in my nose. I'm sorry, guys, but that is Dr. IYABO and her allergies. But everybody, welcome. Today, we're going to be talking about how to make our lifestyle our medicine. That is really important. I look as if that light is on top of my head. I look as if I have a light on top of my head. But anyway, hi everybody. So without further ado, because I already signed up late, I know I was running late. I'm so sorry. I was making my tea. I didn't time myself well and I forgot my tea and I had to go back up and get it. But everybody, welcome to my live. Today we are, thank you. Today we are discussing how to make your lifestyle your medicine, okay? And I have two wonderful guests today, one of my favorite couples, Dr. Toyin and Chioma. So guys, Toyin and Chioma, if you're ready, please just come on live. And then when you're here, I will tell people a little bit about you and we will start. So please request to come live with me. So everybody, welcome to my Tea Time with Dr. IYABO. Of course, all during this live, if you guys like what we're discussing, don't forget to buy badges. Like the last few lives I've done, I've forgotten to ask you guys about badges. So please buy badges if you love my lives, if you love my platform and the work I'm doing. Buy badges. They're very inexpensive, from 99 cents to 4.99 cents, but every cent counts, right? That's how to be a businesswoman. And I want to coach all you guys out there to make money from all what you're doing, to monetize your knowledge. Yes, Dr. Toyin, if you're ready, just select, there should be an icon somewhere on your page and request to come live with me. Okay, because I have to accept it. So yeah, so everybody remember to buy badges between 99 cents to 4.99. Every cent counts, every dollar counts. Even when you become a 7-figure earner like myself or an 8-figure earner, don't reject dollars, don't reject cents, because they all add up, right? You have to be humble enough to accept all of that. Okay, so now Toyin, is this you? I'm seeing a request from Chinwe Chidebe. Is that your Instagram? Because I don't know, maybe somebody just hit the Chinwe Chidebe. Toyin, is that your Instagram or is that just an error? I wonder if that's just somebody who requested by mistake. So if you're just joining us, welcome to my Tea Time with Dr. IYABO on a Sunday. Yeah, but no, I'm waiting for Dr. Toyin. I'm waiting for Dr. Toyin and Chioma to request for me to. Can somebody please describe to Dr. Toyin and Chioma how to come? Okay, there they go. Okay, here they are. No, Chinwe, no, you're not coming live with me. Tifal and Chi are coming live with me. So yeah, there we go. Chinwe, I'm sorry, I have guests today, so I'm not having just anyone come live with me. We can do that during the Hi. Okay, I think I need to move mine down. Hello, my favorite couple. How are you guys
how you
doing? I'm doing well. Okay, let me just fix this because now I'm too. Oh no, that makes me even higher. Okay, I need to do it. Okay, 1 second, guys. Let's fix all the tech stuff. Okay.
No worries. We're good.
We'll get it right. Okay, I think that's much better. Okay. Hi guys, how are you doing?
We're good.
Great. How are you? Good. Can you both hear me okay?
We hear you very well.
Good. Okay, everyone, this is Dr. Toyin and Chioma, okay? please let us know that you can hear the three of us just fine and you can see us okay, and then we'll dive in. Okay, give us thumbs up or hearts or whatever and let us know. And then I'll introduce them and we'll just dive in. Sorry I'm late, guys. I was making my tea.
No worries.
Because if it's tea time with Dr. IYABO, I have to have my tea, my green tea. It's green tea and there's no sugar and there's no milk in it, because I know we're talking about healthy lifestyle. Yeah. Okay, good. Sorry.
We didn't know how to do the accept request on the Mac, so we went on the phone.
Yes, yeah. I don't think you can join lives on your Mac.
We found out a minute ago.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, I think Instagram is just app-based. Yeah, we're all learning every day. Yes. So welcome, everyone. Welcome, Dr. Tony and Chioma. Dr. Tony is a board-certified infectious disease physician. She's a professor of medicine and regional medical director. She's also an author, a podcaster, and a wellness coach. And Chioma is a healthcare director. He's also a health and wellness coach and fitness trainer with years of experience designing nutrition programs and boot camps for individuals, communities, and organizations. Together, Tifal and Chi Nwafo have four children. So welcome, Tifal and Chi. So why don't you go ahead and tell everyone about yourselves and your program. Sure. So just start talking. Tell us about yourselves.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. IYABO, for having us, and happy anniversary to you and Neil yesterday.
Thank you.
I can't believe it's been a year. So congratulations. Yes. Thanks for having us. So like you said, I am an infectious disease physician, professor of medicine, and I write a podcast. I'm very, very passionate about wellness, both in my professional life and my personal life. And so we're really excited to talk about the Tifal and Chi brand, a wellness movement, and really kind of where we are. So I've been in practice for over 20 years, and actually 25 years now, and really excited to be able to do something I'm passionate about in my professional life, in my personal life, and be part of a movement to really talk about wellness in our communities. Right. So that's a little bit about me. And
okay,
go ahead, babe.
And for me, good to be here, IYABO. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. I know you guys are busy. Thanks for taking out the time.
Of course, you look great, and so thank you, and congratulations as well.
Thank you
on your anniversary. So for me, wellness has started when I was a very young kid. So wellness has been a part of my life for so very, very long. And I grew up I was a very sick kid growing up. And if you think about when you were in anatomy class, studying all the bones in the body, I was literally that, skeleton in the corner. That was me in your class, right? So, and I was sick all the time. I was this little skinny kid and all that, migraines all the time, just never felt my best, right? So as time went on, when I hit my teens, I felt I needed to take my health in my hands and change the trajectory of my health. Yes. And started, doing a lot of things, studying how to change yourself from inside out, using nutrition, using juicing methods, exercise, and things like that. Working with large, small communities, large organizations, especially in the oil and gas industry. Working with people who go out, in tugboats out in the sea, and they're spending months and months out in the sea. Studying and data mining. Why are these people coming down with certain disease conditions? And from that data mining, you use that data to tell stories and try to figure out exactly what was going on there. So I started to design treatment plans and to help them become the best version of themselves. So this is exactly who I've been, and coming together with my wife, who has the same mentality about health and wellness. It made sense that every time we want to challenge people, challenge ourselves, how could you become a better version of yourself? My wife and I come to that intersection every day. So that's exactly how my story kind of rolled out. So
yes. And so that is kind of how we got into the Tifal and Chi wellness brand, and really looking at health and wellness as a whole well lifestyle,
Correct.
a way of life, the way we live our lives, but also imparting that to people. And so that's the movement. It's really impacting wellness in our communities and doing it in a practical, personal, intentional way that helps people connect the dots. And you know, wellness is a whole way of life, like your whole mindset, physical, mental. And I have never felt better than I have now. At 50, I feel more energy, stronger, better, fit, energetic than I did even 20 years ago. And I believe that once you know better, you do better, and you teach others to do better also. So
yes, well, you should do better. If you know better, you should do better. There are many who know better, right? I'm sure you know of those who know better, but they don't do better. So I always say to people who consume knowledge without actually taking out the actions, they might as well not have consumed the knowledge, because that's wasted knowledge. So I'm sure you see those. So I love that you do this together as a couple. Honestly, I love that you do it together as a couple, as a Black couple, because I'm sure this is another topic for another day, but the three of us know that with the Black community, there's a lot of work to be done in the health and wellness arena, because a lot of those chronic diseases can be prevented just by lifestyle, right? That's what we're going to really go into today, because during this hour, I really want you to help whoever is listening and who's going to watch the replay about why it's so important to use our lifestyle as our medicine. And like you said, I'm 52, well, I'm about to be 51 in a week or so, right? And I feel my best. I honestly feel my best, at least better than my 30s and 40s. My 20s, I think I was very I was very active and very healthy and all of that. But I feel better now than I did in my 30s and 40s.
Awesome. Yeah. You look great.
Thank you. But I do want to say one thing. I know what you mean, but I want to clarify it, Chioma, so that people don't get confused. You said you were a skinny kid.
Yeah.
And I know that we're telling people to be of a normal weight. Again, skinny isn't healthy. You and I know that skinny isn't healthy. Obese isn't healthy. But people may wonder and think, oh, he said he was skinny, but I'd like to be skinny, because they say the skinnier you are, the healthier you are. Can you clarify that?
Thank you, IYABO, for bringing that up. So the reason I shared my journey as a kid is because skinny does not equate to wellness. It does not. Yeah. I was actually a sick kid. I was actually a very sick kid. I was on antibiotics for almost 3 years straight. So it does not equate to wellness. So the idea is being the very best version of yourself. That is what we discuss. That's what we share. And that is what we want to impart to people who come across. What we do is generational change. And so we want to touch just not you, we want to touch your family, your friends, because we know we can begin to change the trajectory of chronic diseases down the line. So what you bring to the home, what you eat, how you exercise, it's also mental, it's physical, it's everything, it's all connected. So we try to make sure, and everyone is different, Dr. IYABO. Yes. Everyone is different. So I don't expect anyone to be like Tifal and Chi. No. But we want to meet you where you are and be your best version. Period.
And that's one of the things that we emphasize. I'm glad you brought that up too. Is that, when people say, oh, do this thing and you're going to be a size this, or do this thing and you're going to, it's not about that. We help people connect to why they want to be healthy, why it's important, and what does success mean to them, and what is it their why they want to be healthy. And so it's not about looking like anybody else. It's about being the healthiest version of yourself. But I'm glad you asked that clarifying question, because weight is, and it's beyond weight. It's on a cellular level on what's going on. So thanks for that question. Yes.
Which brings me to another question, which I don't agree with, that goes on a lot on social media and is a wrong mentality. It's not about the way we look, obviously, but let's say there's somebody on this live now who is 28 or 32, who is, who is 280 or 320 pounds, but tells the three of us, I feel fine, I feel well. What's all this thing about losing weight or whatnot? There are many who say that. I know the answer, but I want to hear from you. What do you say to those people? Because that happens a lot on social media where there are people, and if you see anything, it sounds like you're fat shaming.
Correct.
So can you,
yeah. And that is definitely not something that is part of what we do or anything like that. So fat shaming or calling people out, or that is not something, it's not acceptable, because it also, all of that, there's a lot of connections as to who we are emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally, how we navigate life. So what we, like we talked about, what we do know as a fact is that a higher BMI and obesity is linked to chronic medical conditions. That is a fact. That, you know, your rates of high blood pressure, diabetes, the things we talk about, the rate of cancers, certain cancers, the rate of certain musculoskeletal issues, even dementia, so many things are tied to a higher BMI and obesity. That is is a known fact. We've seen with COVID, right? With the COVID pandemic, that outside of age, body mass index obesity was the next biggest risk factor for bad outcomes, hospitalization, and death. So that is true, and that is a fact. Now, not everybody who is obese has medical conditions. They're at a higher risk. Statistically, they're at a higher risk. So there are people who are a certain weight, who are obese, who say, I feel fine, I feel great. The question is, have they been evaluated? Are they seeing their physicians often? Because a lot of things that we're finding out when we talk to people is that, especially some people are normal BMI and say, I feel fine. And people wait until they have symptoms of something, or they feel their hard wake-up call. I mean, we've heard how many people are like, they were at work and then, oh my gosh, they had a headache and then they had a stroke. But they had high blood pressure, unknown for 15 years, right? And everybody said, oh, they were just fine. We saw them at a party last week. So it's all about getting people connected. So when we say, how far by your 5? When was the last time you had a physical exam? Do you know your numbers? Is your blood pressure at goal? Your you know, do you have diabetes? Do you have high cholesterol? If you're a certain weight and all of those things are normal, your risk of those things are higher than somebody who is not. And the question then becomes your motivation to get to your healthiest version. And that's where we go with that.
Yeah. Very good. You answered that brilliantly, Dr. Toyin. You answered it brilliantly. And I hope there are people on here who are listening to this, because I encounter this a lot in pediatrics. Pediatrics is like a double whammy, because you're dealing with kids who are obese, but those kids, unfortunately for them, their lives can never change if the lives of their parents don't change. So for me in pediatrics, and this is why I love what I do now than just going from exam room to exam room, because I've actually been able to change more lives from what I'm doing on social media than jumping from one room to the other. It just doesn't work. What we do in conventional medicine doesn't work for some diseases. I don't want to see everything, right? Because you see them and they're 15 pounds heavier. So because again, you can't change the mindset of a 12-year-old if you can't change the mindset of their parents. So that's why I love what you're doing, because you are going to treat the whole family holistically. Yes. I know what you're doing, and this is why I love what you're doing, because you're going to change the mindset of the whole family. If a mother comes to you, you're going to take a look at her kids and her husband and say, you're not going to have the success unless it's a household thing, right? But let's go to and I have some other questions about what we just discussed, but we'll go there later. But why is wellness so important to you? Why do you want, I know that you both are healthy, but why do you care about other people?
So I'll start with that. It's important because of just, you know, when you feel a certain way and you know how much better what you put into your mouth makes you feel, and how when you think about food, like you said, as medicine, food as fuel, and how much more mileage you get when you treat your body right. And when you think about why you want to grow older in a healthy fashion, you want other people to feel that way. I've seen people both in personal and professional lives who have a lot of resources, but you know that in a couple of years, a lot of those resources are spent in the healthcare system, which you have a lot of expertise on. So that's why it's important to me on a personal level, on a generational level, impacting how our children eat, impacting how young people eat, how they feel about themselves, how they exercise, and also knowing that when you do that, you can connect how you feel on the inside, your cells, to how things look on the outside, are two things. Our skin and our gut have the highest, our skin is our largest organ, right? And our gut has 70% of our immune system is in our gut. So which is why when your nutrition is poor and you're feeding your body and your cells the wrong thing, you can tell on your skin. And we assume that bloating is normal when you eat, so the way I feel just by making changes and tweaks in my life and how I do things, I want to share that knowledge. And I know that those translate to hard outcomes of high blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, weight, and things that you can do in a small way, but to impact not just you and your whole family. So it's really important from a professional level too.
And just to add to that, Dr. IYABO, is that when we talk about why is it important, we know that that you talked about disparities in health and access and things like that. We see the impact in our communities, in our society. How could we make a difference? How could we begin to bridge that gap for those who don't have the access, for those who can advocate for themselves? How you walk into your doctor's office, you're given a script, and then what? You get that script. Many of these people who get the script still don't eat the way they're supposed to eat. We bridge that gap. Part of our program is doing a pantry check. A refrigerator check. So we do that. We go live into your home, look into your pantry.
I love you for that. Chioma, I'm going to have to interrupt because I love you guys for that. Honestly, I even put it in my book. I'm like, you cannot, unless you go into their home and check their pantry and their refrigerator, you cannot change anything. Honestly, I love you guys even more. Yes. Yes.
And he's tough. When we do those pantry checks, it's not like maybe cut down. He's like, that needs to go. And that's really important. We had somebody who was pre-diabetic, whose A1C had been going up, and they told her in another couple of months, you might need to be on, go diabetes. And people assume pre-diabetes is always diabetes. When we did her pantry check, she had enough pasta for a
supermarket.
And pasta and rice. And she'd been seen in the healthcare system. She had seen a nutritionist. They gave her a printout. But no one knew there's a discordance and phenomenal results in just a few months and her A1C. And it was just knowledge. She's not going to know that now.
Correct.
So knowing what you know, she's able to now talk to her other friends about what she's doing without disrupting anything, without selling her a shake or selling her anything. So
our healthcare system is a $3 trillion industry, but the confusion it's crazy how much it confuses every daily person. Every time, it's very, very confusing, the healthcare system. So how can we begin to piece that together? We're in healthcare, but we still find it confusing. You can imagine the layman trying to challenge and figure out what they have access to, what they don't, and all that. So that's where we come in. So thank you for asking that question.
Wonderful. And I'm assuming that your coaching and the work you do is not free, right?
No, of course
not. We'll come to that in a second. However, but again, I know the answer, but I want you to raise awareness. There's going to be, like a few days ago, we ordered groceries from Whole Foods because that's what we do and they deliver. And my husband said, you know what? This is why there's so many obese people in America. See how much 4 apples cost. 4 organic apples, $10. From Whole Foods. Yeah, I know we should go to the farmers market. I know, but it's just convenience and all of that. But 4 apples cost $10, organic apples. And I said, well, that is the problem. However, a lot of people who tell me they can't afford it, I don't believe them. But let's talk about that because that's the huge elephant in the room. So if you go into their homes and throw away their food and tell them this is bad, and they tell you, but those are less expensive. How do you expect me to afford all the good things? What do you do? How do you help them?
Good question. So being healthy does not equate to expense. It does not. Being educated about what to eat is the key, right? So for instance, you talk about, organic. You don't have to go organic. The only reason it's organic is because, it hasn't had a spray on it. If you wash it out, you're good. There's absolutely no reason you have to buy organic products, right? Absolute reason. So we don't subscribe. As long as you wash the pesticides off your apples and all that,
I agree.
You're fine, right?
Okay.
And planning is key. Being able to plan and, taking putting little apples and carrots in Ziplocs, planning ahead. So I like that you asked that question, because oftentimes you get that question about, if I cost, but think about it. You either pay for the cost today or you pay for it later on. It's more expensive to have a renal disease or a cancer than planning today to prevent those things. So you just have to weigh where you want to spend the cost. Or do you want to be in a wheelchair after you retire from your job, after you work so many years? Or do you want to have a healthy lifestyle where you can play with your children, your grandchildren, your partner, whoever you have in your life? So that's where we think about these things, Who is your future self? Can you see your future self? If you can, you go and you know your why, you can get that.
Right. And that's really what we have people like, what is their why? Because it allows you to think about that future self and what are you putting in place? And the children in the family, they're not the ones buying their own food. What are we doing to lay their building blocks? So they're starting off with a better foundation. Because what we see is this cycle, right? We think in our 20s, we can eat anything, 30s, maybe, then 40s, this happens, then something happens, and we start doing all these diets, as opposed to a healthy lifestyle as a way of life and something that's sustainable. So we talked, and that's why it's personal, because when we meet with you, we talk about what is your daily life like? Yeah. What is your budget? How do you shop? Who does the shopping for the home, right? What snacks are you bringing into the house? If you want to stop snacking, then you don't bring those things in. Who's doing the groceries? And, buying whatever fruit is in season, buying frozen. People assume that it always has to be fresh.
Frozen
has it's there, it's year round, and it's cheaper. Like we say, well, fast food is not that much. It's not cheaper. You go in the drive-through, it's a lot of carbs and stuff. Your sugar goes up, your insulin goes, you're hungry again, you're snacking, you're waiting in line, you're doing Uber Eats. It's actually not cheaper than knowing, okay, if I have $50 and I walk into a grocery store, I'm starting at the aisles, I'm at the edges, I'm doing frozen stuff, I'm buying whatever fruit is in season, I'm using the vegetables that are in season, I'm using proteins that are non-red meat proteins that I can use, beans and lentils that give you the fiber, that do all that. I'm not doing pop, I'm doing water, which doesn't have to be Perrier or sparkling water, tap water. So all of those things, when you think about it, it's not more expensive. It's actually, in terms of priority, like if you think about your body as a temple, what am I putting in?
Correct.
Then it becomes less difficult. And the sugar addiction is real. So we know that it's going to take longer than 1 or 2 days to undo a way of eating and living. And so that's why we work with people in that setting. Yeah.
So just to add to that real quickly, Dr. IYABO.
Yes.
There are blue zones in the world.
Yes.
There are several blue zones in the world. Then these blue zones are known because people that live in these blue zones often live to their 100, and they're not in wheelchairs, and they live in active lifestyles. One common denominator with these people that live in these blue zones is that they made healthy eating the easy choice. So it was not an option. They also found out that these people also, another thing they found, they moved a lot. They were active, they moved a lot. They also had a purpose, they had a why.
Yes.
If you have to find your why to understand where you're headed. And the last thing was they had good psychosocial support around them. People that made them feel important, that made them feel that it was valued. Those things make a big difference, right? So the blue zones are in Sardinia, Italy, in Nicoya, Chile, in Okinawa, Japan, and Ikaria, Greece. And Loma Linda, California has one of those. Actually went to graduate school in Loma Linda. And you find people who are, 100 years old, walking and jogging in the evening, just doing their thing. No wheelchairs, nothing. But they studied them, and they figured out what was important and why those 4 things happened. So,
like my grandma lived to be 102. Yes,
nice.
She did. Yes. And the day that she died, she was walking up the stairs gingerly, and she just had a seizure and died. She could still walk up and down the steps at 102. So all the questions are coming into my brain. Somebody asked another. I'm writing all these things down. It's like, I think we need 5 hours. We'll have to do a part 2. I'll have to have you guys back.
You got it.
I'll have to. So all what we're discussing, I believe, comes down to mindset and purpose. I'm glad that you mentioned purpose, because I'm the purpose lady. I talk about purpose all the time, because the reason I
Yeah.
believe that, honestly, the core reason why a lot of people mismanage their health is because they don't have purpose. If you have purpose, you have this thing where you just want to make sure you're healthy so that you can actually stay alive to fulfill that purpose. So, you know, so for me, I love that you mentioned that, because let's talk about how purpose intersects with mindset and mentality. And then somebody else asked here, how do you help them overcome those addictions? I think it's when you were talking about sugar addiction. So
yes.
Can you guys, I feel like we can put all that together.
Yes.
How, you know, not having a purpose in life, having the wrong mindset, the wrong mentality. Chioma talked about, I think, associations of people that you were around, and then how all that helps us overcome all those addictions. Can we tie it all together, please?
Sure. Go ahead, Annie.
I'll start,
Yeah,
and then you can
sure.
tag team.
Lovey. Okay, there's single people on this live. Okay, don't make them feel that. Okay, you know what? Our part 2 is going to be about finding love after divorce.
Let's do that.
Let's do that as part 2.
The healthy way.
So going back to your question about mind, purpose, health, and all that, the sugar addiction, and that again, just knowing that it's harder to unlearn, and the addiction, and what sugar does, and the rush it does, and how it lights up in the brain. The science is clear. So we never undermine or underestimate how much people are addicted to sugar. And it starts so early. It's in the cereal bars that are given to kids. It's in things when people think they're doing a fat-free bar. So it's there all the time. And once you have a sugar thing in the brain, you're craving more. The more you eat, the more you crave. And so if we think about it, that little kids, we talk about when you have your toddler who gets cake at a party, you're like, oh God, they're not going to sleep tonight, and they're going to be crashed and irritable. It does the same thing to adults. So the question is, how do we make substitutions, and how do we help them understand why this is, what you're feeling is real. When sugar goes up, insulin goes up, you crash, you're tired. It's physiologic, it's real. And we know that what sugar does to the brain is like, it's like cocaine. It's real. So we don't underestimate that. We acknowledge that, right? Because we want to have people empowered in that process. This is not like, oh, wow, how do you feel this way? The second is then having that connection around the purpose and why. I do think, yes, there are people who haven't really clarified what their purpose is and why they want to do some things and thinking future and not just immediate. But I think beyond that is there's a lack of education about just basic nutrition and food. And so if you think about when people come in and say, I can't change this because everybody in my family has high blood pressure, diabetes, and obesity. Yeah. And so in their mind, it's genetic because everybody they know has that. However, when you do, you go talk, you look and stuff, you see that they just never knew. And so they grew up already eating a lot of those kind of foods. Their fat cells, everything, their composition is different, right? Their taste is different. And when people, in terms of cooking and just being aware of what you're putting in. So that's why really we don't, when we talk with people, we don't assume a lot of things. And we say, you know what, if you knew this already, just think of it as a refresher. And you'll be surprised at how people want to know better. And that's what I think is really critically important. And being able to connect that to your future self, your why, and also understanding that the things and the way you've eaten and how is real. However, this is what you can do, and making practical suggestions, which is why in our program, if you join the program, it's not about buy this food, because once that program is done in 8 weeks, then you never learned anything. All you knew is that if you ate that, or you bought that juice, or you did that, you lost 20 pounds. Right. You didn't change anything about anything you did. Right. You're also not ordering for your spouse or for the kids. So you're buying them that stuff. When you understand what food does and the physiology and on a cell level, if you're doing something for yourself, you're like, oh my gosh, I want my 10-year-old and my 5-year-old to even have it better. So we really help people connect the associations with what's going on with them, but also thinking about their future self and having that purpose, finding that purpose, taking time, if you haven't thought about it, about why you want to be healthy, what do you see yourself 10, 20 years doing, and you need your health to do that. Yeah, you need your help to get there.
And you think about this, Dr. IYABO, and for all those who are watching as well. when we have children, the first 5 years, those formative years and all that, those years are so very critical and important in how we impact the cells in our children. So you think about building a home, right? And you lay the foundation first before you build a home on top. So the wider your foundation is, the bigger the home you're going to build on it is, correct? Yeah. So you have to think about it the same way within your cells. So our cells replicate and multiply all the time. So the more cells that we expose to sugar and those things, as we get older, it's so much more difficult to change those things. So that's why when people sign up with us, our program look at it as a generational change and then. So at tflnt.com, when you go there, you'll find out what we do is we teach you through basic, very simple, very, very simple things, tweaks in your life. We're not doing, our program is not about because you want to go to Cancun or because you want to fit into a dress. No. But because it's a lifestyle, because it's just, you make it simple. You don't do math. We're not into doing math because you want to eat food or count numbers. That's not a lifestyle, right?
Yeah. It's not, that's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable.
At some point, you're going to be like, let me go back to my regular. And that's why we don't use the word diet. People talk, they're like, what's it? We don't say diet, we don't say exercise. We talk about nutrition and physical activity. And if you think about it, what if we actually flipped the script, right? And thought more about what we put into our mouth? Like, really just think about it, be intentional about that. And in terms of physical activity, just get up and do it. A lot of us say, okay, exercise. I'm going to go to the gym for 20 minutes. I didn't make it to the gym, so it doesn't work out. How about exercise be the default? You just do it, moving, you're walking in the car lot, you're going upstairs, you're doing as much, you're physically active, not like 20 minutes to the gym, the rest of the time, nothing. And when it comes to eating, instead of eating 24/7, to make that the more intentional, what am I putting into my body? What am I bringing into my home? And that default, when we're really thoughtful about mindful eating and just exercising and working out or doing what we need to do with physical activity. So I like that foundation analogy.
And exercise is not about the gym.
No.
As every time you exert yourself, right? So there are only two ways you're ever going to lose weight or get to a healthy lifestyle. Yeah. When you exert yourself, you exhale carbon dioxide, and that fat escaping from your mouth. Fat goes out, or you excrete sweat from your skin. Those are the only two ways you can ever make change. But if you don't exert yourself, you're not going to exhale carbon dioxide and you're not going to excrete sweat. So that's one thing. A lot of times, that's why sometimes when we feel a certain way, you have to have a stress test. There's a reason they put you on those treadmills to do that.
Right.
You have to,
and if you don't ever exert yourself, you never know if your heart is healthy.
Yes.
So that's key.
That is key. We saw that with COVID, where people had no idea that they had heart disease, right? And they saw that one of the reasons why people who were inactive had like a worse outcome is they presented later to the hospital because there's shortness of breath. If somebody is active, usually walking, they're like, oh, something's off. If you're not walking, by the time they felt they were short of breath, they were getting into the hospital and being intubated right away. My colleagues were telling me. So something about being in tune with your body. We also have people engaged. So our coaching is not like, oh, don't talk to the doctor. I'm a doctor. I'm a proud doctor. I advocate. We actually at their first consult say, when was your last physical? What was your blood work? What was it? Give them metrics, because it's important to be able to advocate for yourself within the healthcare system. Knowing what your numbers should be, asking the right questions. And we say, when was your last this? What's your mammogram? Have you had your colon? Because it's about your whole health. Mental health. Who is working with your mental health? Are you in therapy? Have you had therapy? If you need, because you have to be that whole complete self.
Correct.
And that is really critical in terms of what we do. It's very personal about where you are, where you want to be, and really some hard truths about our relationship. Our clients get a workbook that asks some really tough questions that they have to work with about their relationship with food and just different things about their goals and whys. And it helps them.
Wow. So everybody who's on this live and who's going to watch the replay, okay? You know where to go. We're not yet done, but I just want to pause here to say you know where to go, because honestly, You guys are doing what I have been frustrated about conventional medicine about for years. And that's why I'm slowly making my exit out of conventional medicine, because I feel like I've done my parts, I've done what I can do in that, but my dreams are bigger than conventional medicine, because it's way, health is way more than what they teach us in medicine, not to put it down. But let me tell you one of the statements I hear the most. I can picture the last person who said it to me in my pediatric office. This is rampant in Black people, and I'm Black, so I can say it. But a lot of Black people who are overweight and obese will tell you, Dr. O, well, they call me Dr. O in my medical life, Dr. IYABO in my creative life, Dr. O. But Black people are just meant to be big. But Black people are never going to be like white people. This is somebody who's maybe like 5'5" or maybe 280 pounds, and her daughter is 16, and her daughter is probably even heavier than her. I can picture that day. The last, people say it to me all the time. Black people are never going to be skinny. We're never going to be like white people. Dr. Oh, this is fine. This is how my whole family is. Dr. Oh, that day she actually got mad with me. But, you know, I called her and everything, and we settled, and I'm like, you know what, if you don't want to lose weight, that's fine. But I'm not telling you to be like a white person. I'm not. I'm Black. You know, I'm not skinny, but I'm slim. A lot of Black people have that mentality that I'm never going to be a white person. Why do you need me to lose weight?
Correct. And we've heard that. I've heard that in my practice. One of the things, like you said, is we cannot not share information that we know as physicians. If obesity is tied to health outcomes, it would be a disservice. And I know there's always the right way to say it and make sure we're not offending people, but it would be a disservice not to let someone know that their risk of certain things is higher. The second point you brought up is the fact that what people know, if generations have had the same kind of diet, the same access to healthy foods, the same issues with socioeconomics and environment, and the assumption is genetic. And so we never say to look like anybody else. Is this your healthiest version? Do you have as much energy as you think you could have? Are your numbers great? Is everything great? You know, not just to say, because some of that I think also has to do with something we do in our coaching program, which I guess I can talk about now. We're going to talk about the 5 C's.
Oh, let's start talking about it now. Just add it in.
I'll add it into that question you brought up, because there are a lot of reasons why that pushback may happen. And one of them is the confidence to say, can I actually do this? Because maybe they've never seen anyone actually achieve it, because people are on a lot of yo-yo time-bound things that it didn't teach them skills to use in the future. So when you feel like you can achieve something or you can't, then it just feels like I'm not going to do it. So the 5 C's that we talk about are like, the first one is clarity. The second is commitment. The third is consistency. The fourth is confidence. And the fifth is compassion. And we may have to come back another time, but we use that within our program to have clarity about why you want to do this, why you want to be healthy. And we also tell them why it's important from a medical standpoint. So clarity from your end. So clarity is the first C. The second is commitment, taking that step to say, I want to do better. I need help. I want to do this. I'm committed to this. The third is consistency. And this is where a lot of people tell us over time, they've done different things in the past.
Correct.
Consistency with when days are hard, the temptations come, your stuff, just be consistent. And doing something every day is better than planning to go to the gym one time or eating one healthy meal. Just being consistent and challenging yourself to be your better self every day. Consistency, and we help them in that as their accountability partners. The fourth is confidence, and that's where, confidence that you can do this. We're here to support you. Other members of the group are here to be your cheerleaders and your accountability partners. Confidence that every time you lose a certain amount of weight, your cells are happier. You may not even see a change in your pant size or anything yet, but before that, your cells are happier, your energy is up, your cell structure is better. So that confidence. And the fifth is compassion. We need to be compassionate with ourselves. When things are hard, if we fall off, that we're human and we're in it for the long haul. So we use that to help people stay on track and to have those kind of conversations to figure out what part of it is causing the most pushback and help them through that. So
and again, it's not we don't say it's not a white or black thing when it comes to weight. if you lose 1 pound of weight, it's 4 pounds of pressure off your joints. Simple as that. So if you lose 5 pounds, you're losing, 5 times 4, that's 20 pounds. So we have to think about those things, right? So we typically look at it as it's a medical issue. Where are you? Where's your BMI, right? What is your blood glucose? Just like what we have on our brand. And if you look back here, what we have back here, our website is right there. So you look at your blood glucose, look at your waist circumference. Are you in the normal range? If you're in the normal range, great. Your waist, are you in the normal range for women, men? Women is 35, men is 40, albeit that could be high, but you have to be under that. Think about that. Your blood pressure, are you within the 120 and 80 range? If you check all those boxes and you're within those ranges,
how do you stay on?
How do you stay on, and how do you maintain that and sustain that? That's great. But if you don't check those boxes and you're not within those ranges, and you're feeling a certain way, but you still feel that, well, you're just big boned, you may need to have a conversation with your physician to figure out what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah. Dr. Jumoke, thank you. There's another doctor on here. Well, there's a few doctors, but Dr. Jumoke is a dentist. She just said we're big boned with a laughing face. Yeah, they do say that too, that that black people are big boned and black people are never going to be white people. It always has to be a comparison between black and white. Even if you don't say it, it's just, it's part of, and we have to educate people, right? Before we go on to, because I do want us to tell us more about what the Fab Five are again, and the ways you use to motivate people to stay on track. Because in some people, it's easy to start, right? They start to see the results, and then they fall back again. But I want to bring up something that I sing about and I preach about all the time: sleep. Okay, can we talk about the intersection of sleep and stress and obesity?
Great job. Thank you for that question. So we know that cortisol builds up when we're stressed out. And where does cortisol go? Cortisol goes within our midsection. And what do we have within our midsection? All the vital organs for the most part. Yeah. So when that happens, cortisol is one of the hardest fats to get rid of. And what it does is strangling all your organs, the kidneys, the liver, and things like that. So then you have fatty liver disease and things like that, right? So when we begin to talk about how do you motivate and how does sleep play a big role? When we sleep less, we're going to accumulate cortisol in our system. Yeah. When we're stressed out, we're going to accumulate cortisol in our system. We typically, as Tifal and Chi, what we talk to people about, we have so many muscles in our face. A lot of people don't, but so the more you smile, the more you laugh, the less wrinkles you're going to have. It's true. Yeah. You're exercising those muscles. You think about it like your bicep or your quads or anything. The more you exercise them, the less wrinkles they have over time.
Yeah.
Same thing with your face. So the more you smile, the more you laugh, your cortisol level goes down, your happy hormones go up, and you're a better version of yourself.
Yeah. So excellent. I couldn't agree more. And just the sleep, really looking at ways around sleep hygiene. So when we do our consults with our new members, we ask about typically how much sleep are you getting? Do you go to bed and then you wake up early, or do you not fall asleep? Because we know that, like she said, that increases your cortisol. Cortisol causes, fat accumulation, and then it becomes a cycle, because then you're during the day, you'll have less energy. So and when people are, you have less energy or you're tired, our default is to find something that brings us comfort or a great fix right away. And then you grab something that has sugar because it makes you feel slightly better. And then you're too tired. And then you're eating later at night. So one of the things we do is look at sleep hygiene. When was your last meal before you went to bed? Making sure you're not eating too late. Yeah. What are you doing around screen time and blue light, and making sure you don't have too many distractions in the bedroom? Having a regular sleep time where you shut down, going to bed, and doing all
Dr. Tony, say that again, because no.
I'm going to bed together. Like, just saying, that's it. We're done.
Going to bed together. We go to bed naked.
Other people can hear
My
you.
stepsons are upstairs. I have to whisper that one.
No, but
good job.
Even when the kids were younger, it was kind of like it's bedtime. It's because it's really important to have that routine. Our brains like routine. which is also the reason why it's sometimes harder to break bad ones, bad habits or routines. Our brains like routine. So if you set your time that we're going to go to bed because this is going to give me more energy in the morning, I can start my day and looking at things that help, and other things, non-prescription ways that help you to calm down, right? Certain teas and things that just help you to, because we're turned so much and you need to be able to like shut things down and calm down. Yes.
And just to add to what you just said,
yeah.
I wasn't going to let you walk away with the naked talk you just brought up. So that is very key, Dr. IYABO, right?
It is.
So
it is.
What we do when we teach people how to eat better, exercise better, sleep better, and things like that, you ultimately have more energy for your partner, whoever that partner may be, right?
Yes.
So you're not like, oh, I'm so tired. No, your energy level goes up.
It's all connected.
It's all connected.
All
Sexual
of it.
health, all of it.
All of it.
So your partner is happier and they're like, oh my gosh, my partner has become someone I love it. And we get that feedback from people we work with,
Yeah. And we do. And, because we say like, even though we like to go to the gym, that physical activity, whatever gets you exerted and sweating, if it's dancing, people are like, oh my God, now I'm dancing. We just put on music from back in the 80s and we go at it, and that's great. Just thinking about moving your body as a default and being thoughtful and creative about how you cook. I want to talk about, our members. There's a whole spectrum of people. Some people cook a lot. Some people haven't even ever cooked. Some people are just starting. Making cooking creative and fun, where you have control of what goes into your mouth.
Correct.
You're adding color. You're doing all these things.
Right.
Sampling vegetables you never did. Give it a try once. You just might like it. Making it fun, right? How often do you as an adult get to like try new things all the time? And your food and stuff can be that way. And making it fun. That's really important.
Yes. So when you were talking about sleep, I know many, many women in their 40s and 50s who just cannot sleep, Toyin. So please, when you're doing your posts and your captions and things, please talk about sleep, because honestly, at least for me, as I've gotten older, I believe that for my health and wellness, sleep is number 1 to 5. And then next is exercise. I mean, food has always been easy for me to choose, good for me, at least. I've always been disciplined about food. But and I've never had a sleep problem either. But when my hot flashes started, I did go through a phase where I couldn't sleep well, but I changed some things and it worked. I completely cut out decaf coffee. I've never, because I'm very sensitive to caffeine. And I never drank regular coffee, but even the decaf I noticed was giving me more hot flashes. So I cut it out. And then the temperature in my room down to 68 or 67. And that just, my hot flashes are gone and I feel so much better. So honestly, sleep is underrated. It's not talked about enough. A lot of middle-aged women are not sleeping. A lot of them are on sleeping pills. And this is something that I really want you to emphasize on, because if you're not sleeping, like you said, you're not going to eat well, you're not going to exercise. So please, guys, please talk about that.
We will.
Number 2, and I wanted to say something else. As per stress, everybody has stress, but honestly, in the Black community, there's a lot more stress. Okay, there's a lot more stress. So please, Tifal and Chi, please, let's talk about ways to be able to relieve stress as you're doing this work, because I find that, it's like, and this is why I do what I do with purpose and with, what we're doing is kind of interlinked. And this is why I really wanted you on, because I feel it's like, which one comes first, the egg or the chicken or the egg? Because people are stressed because they don't have purpose. People are stressed because they hate their jobs. People are stressed because they're single, they can't find a partner, or they're in, marital abuse. Or it's like, so then, so they're going to get overweight, but then they're still stressed and they still have marital problems, or they're looking for a partner, or they hate their job, they don't have money. So it's like, where do we start from this whole complex thing? So I circled sleep and stress from the beginning, because I find that in Black people, that is, and again, Blacks, minorities, when I say Black people, I mean Blacks, Hispanics, the minority communities, sleep and stress, those two things are an epidemic.
Yes, that is correct. That is correct. And, thank you for bringing the issue of stress up. We know that the etiology of stress within the Black community goes back 400-500 years, right?
Yeah.
So it's not, so we don't, when we look at that, looking at the genesis of that allows you to understand, especially the inequalities in the system, the lack of access, the disparities in the system. So those things begin to build up, lead to joblessness, leads to, I mean, look at a lot of our communities where you don't find healthy shops where you can buy stuff.
Yeah.
You find the, shops that mainly alcohol and unhealthy foods. So these are the things that are built into the system. But this is where our education comes through. What we do as TFL and CHI to educate those who don't have the access, those who don't have the, the voice, those who need to be advocated for, because we know the systemic inequality is real. So that's where we stand. That's what we do. And it's very clear to us that our job and what we do is very important to continue to fight this fight. And that is why we need everyone watching us today. We need you to be that soldier that helps us. Go to our website. There's a lot of fight to be done. We've seen what's gone on in this country in the past couple of years already. We need you so that we can begin to drive and close the gap in the places that we can, especially in the health space and wellness.
Because we see it in our professional lives, these inequalities, but in the circle of influence, what can you, and that's the thing, the empowerment. What we want to do is empower people to be the best versions of themselves. There are going to be things, societal things you may not be able to control. There are going to be systemic things you may not control, but within your circle, within the resources you have, how do you take that $50 and prioritize your health and the health of your children over other things? How do you take that and say, how do you take that money instead of 2 meals at the drive-through? How do you take into the grocery store and shop wisely? Teaching people how to read food labels and doing the best for what they have within their resources, buying things that are, and working within what you have, and just being able to control the things that you have, right? The control within that large circle, because stressing about things you can't control is not going to impact your personal health in a way that you can. So how do you take charge of your health? And you're such an advocate for yourself that when you do head into healthcare system, you know the right questions to ask. You're not just given a piece of paper. You know where to follow through. You know where to go for information. Even if we don't have it, pointing people to the right resources, right? I like to say, search for information, medical information, health information, the same intensity we search for everything. For women especially, we know how to find stuff and do stuff. Let's prioritize our health, right? When we go into a place, the first thing we do is find the Wi-Fi, no matter how hard it is to find. Let's make healthy choices and finding information
the easy choice.
So,
and I know you asked, what do we do in terms of how can you access us and all that. So what we do corporate events. We'll come to you. If it's a corporate event, we'll be there. We'll talk to your team or your organization virtually. If it's a faith-based organization, we'll do that. We currently have subscribers who are paid subscribers who will work with one-on-one in our coaching sessions. We'll meet with them monthly. We'll check their pantry frequently. Would share exercise and health and wellness tidbits here and there with them all the time. We do check-ins every Wednesdays with them to make sure that we remain their accountability partner. Because when you're dealing with issues like this, you need somebody that walks that journey with you. You need somebody to walk that journey with you until you reach a point where you can fly.
And that's the goal, that these people are equipped to be able to then, you can unlearn what you learn, right? That it's not about do this and then you're done with the program and stuff. There's no way you've learned a certain way of bringing things into your house, cooking, proteins, what they do, what fibers, you're drinking water, that you're going to unlearn that because you're going to feel better and you're going to want everybody to feel the way you feel. So we do that with the wellness, the personalized wellness program, the speaking stuff, and also just continuing to empower people as advocates between what they're doing and when they interface with the healthcare system, how to advocate for themselves.
And talking about that too, we're in the final stages of working with an organization where we're going to have our own talk show. So it's coming.
Wow! Yes.
So just stay tuned. it's coming, and we're gonna have it.
We're
working on that. We're almost there.
To just have a health and wellness thing.
Yeah, so it's coming. So
wonderful,
please.
wonderful. You know what? Something else I was thinking of that would be perfect for you guys. How about an online course? How about creating an online course? I believe that will do so well. Honestly, I'll be the first person to buy it. Even though I probably, for me, I learn every day. I'm a sponge. And this is why I tell people that no matter what you know, just keep learning. Even if you think you know it, I may think I know it and I may pick up 2 or 3 things, but I believe that what you're doing is so powerful. And in this day and age, with everybody coming up with online courses, it would be amazing, because there'll be some people who just want that because they don't want the one-on-one, they can't afford the one-on-one. So think about that. That would be really wonderful. In fact, you can do it and maybe go into a pantry and show them examples of how to stock the pantry, maybe even go to the grocery. Part of that online course could be all the steps of what you do. Maybe even have 4 online courses: grocery shopping, setting up your pantry, exercise.
And those are things we're doing with our group, and the things we're going to be talking about with this wellness show, like short videos, and then really expand on it, because we know that, you know, for us, when we're walking through the airport and, you know, people are like, what's this 5? And they're like, if this makes somebody say, gosh, I haven't seen the doctor in so long. And they never say anything to us, but they read that and call and make an appointment. That is awesome. Job well done. I mean, we get personal feedback and people say, oh my God, I have so much energy. I'm working out with my spouse now. He says, come to the basement. I'm on the bike with him. We're like, yay. Or like, I'm dancing with dance, like blah, blah, blah. That's great. But there are going to be people who, by seeing what is that? Blood pressure.
What is that?
You know, if that makes somebody make an appointment, or call their mom and say, girl, we need to go do this stuff. Or what was your blood pressure? Was borderline? That is impactful, right?
Yes.
Because they're going to be people you empower and you reach without even ever speaking a word to them, which is why, you know, every time we wear our stuff, how far people are like,
go to our store, right?
It's like, yes, on our store, we have the merch as for people to purchase, because it's part of the movement of spreading the awareness about messaging around how far by your 5, because these 5 are a gateway to other things. If you're on top of your numbers, you're going to be on top of your screening. You're going to be on top of other things. You're going to search for information. It's a different mindset. So like you said, mindset is really important.
And just to add to that, Dr. IYABO, and all those watching us today, so 90% of people who have diabetes, 95% actually, of people who have diabetes is type 2, which is lifestyle, you know, situated, right? 60% of people who show up in emergency rooms every day, lifestyle situated, they have a chronic condition, right? So there has to be a change. Look, we've seen what COVID has done. COVID is not going to be the last, you know, issue we're going to deal with, or the last pandemic. Another one will come, but are you primed? Is your body ready to fight it? Because it will come. So we want to make sure that we can do a bit. And when we can empower everybody else to do their bit, we go to our store, the merch is there if you want to be one of the soldiers in this fight, because wherever you wear it, if you're in Nigeria, if you're in London, if you're in Japan, somebody sees that, how fab is your 5, it's going to trigger something. I need to talk to my doctor and I don't know mine. So it's part of messaging. And we want to be that, you know, that cog in that fight. So,
so are your clients from all over the world? You can coach anybody from all over the world.
Because it's virtual. You know, it's one of those things that who knows without the COVID if we would have done, you know, in terms of when this would have happened, because you're thinking in terms of person. So it's all virtual. And so different time zones, obviously, for everyone. But because it's virtual, it's all virtual.
We have clients in Nigeria,
London,
everywhere.
So that's awesome. And so, you know, and we also have on our website a discovery, you know, you can have discovery call to figure more out. We have people to join the movement right away if you're convinced, and to sign up for the wellness program. We also have a discovery call. People want to get a little bit more information about it. And, you know, there's so much to talk about, but it's been to be able to have something that you're so passionate about, to be able to do that with your spouse. And our personal and professional lives is still around the same thing. We're still in healthcare and we're still talking about these things no matter what we're doing. And it's really very impactful. And just have the tools that they
Correct.
need to live their best lives, your best life.
Correct.
Your best life.
Not anybody else's.
Not anybody
not
else's.
Anybody
it's
else's.
Not about being anybody else, but your best.
Your best life. That's it. Yeah. So.
And you offer both one-on-one and group.
Exactly.
So our program, the wellness coaching program, does include a monthly one-on-one with the person. The monthly one-on-one where we kind of lay out the stuff, and also another pantry check or
which is one-on-one.
check, which is one-on-one.
So true.
And then we also have a member area, which is the Fab Five member area, where there's access to articles, recipes, things that have been curated and stuff on specific issues. Then we also have a closed Facebook group for the people who are in that thing. And not everybody, like you said, likes to be in a group. So we have people we're working with who are part of the program who just don't want to be in the Facebook. The Facebook is really active because people share their recipes. They cheer each other on. We put challenges in there. And so, yes. So that is.
And babe, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I just want to mention something my wife was talking about in terms of the recipes. Everything you see on our website is the meal we cooked and took pictures of ourselves. We don't do any stock pictures because we want to show people how organically we do this. Every single thing on the website is either the pictures of ourselves, our children or the meals we cooked,
and what we share in the recipe.
what we share.
So everything is practical. So when you talk about what a coach is, right? You know, you're counseling people, you're advocating for them, you're teaching them, you're correcting them, you're, constructive criticism, cheering them on. That's what a coach does, right?
Correct.
For your soccer team. That's exactly what we're doing. And it's practical because it's like, this is what we ate. If you're traveling on the road, these are some tips so you can stay on course.
I love that you do the travel one. I love the travel one.
That's when people fall off and then they're like, oh, well, whatever. So it's just kind of, it's practical. And you can tell we're very passionate about it.
But you know what? That is key, though. That is key to your success. People do things they're not passionate about, and they wonder why it doesn't work, right?
Yeah,
I agree. Because it shows through your eyes, it shows through everything that you're passionate about this thing, not just for your own good, but just for everybody's good. So this is what I tell people: you're not passionate about what you're doing. It shows. You come on to social media, you're just like, and show your passion, show that you're interested in it, show that it's something you care about, because people are going to feel that love. They're going to feel the warmth and the care from you, and that's what's going to make them believe and trust you. Yes, you're passionate about it because you want to help people. You want to. Right. So, guys, the way you're going to find Tfal and Chioma, go to their website, tfalandchi.com, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's
tfalandchi.com. Right. Guys, health is wealth. Go to tfalandchi.com first before you come to me for your online business. Because, no, honestly, I tell people that health is wealth. Even in my coaching, people who say, Dr. Jumoke can tell you, she's one of my coaching clients. I don't discuss anything about making money or anything until I dive deep into their health and wellness and into their personal life.
Correct.
Because we both of us know, or the three of us know, that we cannot make money unless there are other things you look. Even if you make that money, you're going to mismanage it, or you won't be alive to enjoy it.
Yeah, true. And one thing is just one night in a hospital bed where you're having a challenge, going to the bathroom yourself or breathing, makes you understand that health is wealth. No amount of money can buy your health. No amount of money. Doing the right things today so that all your 401k or whatever you've built up or whatever legacy you've left, you can enjoy that. And so it's much more than money, but quality. So we like to share quality over quantity. So what is the quality of your life, right? Mental, psychosocial, sleep, weight, physical exercise, all of that.
Stuff. And even before the later on stuff, like the way you feel in real time, because every day we do stuff for ourselves are even before one thing. So we like to say fabulous begins on the inside. We can do all this stuff on the outside and put all this stuff. But
it doesn't matter.
Begins on the inside.
And
and our bodies give us warning. Babe always uses the analogy of like taking your car in every 3 miles, about 3,000
miles.
3,000 miles, all of that stuff. We do that. you know, you can go and take your car to the car wash and polish it and put rims on it and all that. If you're not servicing on the inside, it's going to break down. A lot of people, it's that hard call, and you don't want to wait until that happens, because sometimes you can't reverse that. And
absolutely, it's like when people ask me that, what do you do to your skin? Why is your skin so the way it is and you don't look like you're 50? I'm like, and they're like, what product do you use? I said, forget about the products. Forget about the products. What is in your spirit? What is in your heart? What is in there? That's why my skin looks good. It's because my heart and my spirit is just the way it is. I just don't stress about things, and I just, you know, my life is easy and simple. Don't ask me about any product. You can use the Lancome products I use and your skin still won't change. And this is why people eventually resort to plastic surgery, because they're just putting a Band-Aid on whatever they're doing, because they haven't addressed what it is that is in their heart or their mental space, you know, their mental health that they have not addressed, right? So people will see you and I, right, Tony, and they'll say, how can they be 50? But it's because we care about what we put into our bodies. We care about our mental health. We care about our spiritual health, our physical health. Even though we've been through stresses, you and I, our stories are almost identical. We have two daughters. We've been through a divorce, but it shows how your body can still. I looked older in my 30s when I was going through my divorce and everything. I looked older when I look at pictures, but your body can, you know, reinvent and regenerate and heal itself. That's what people give up after some little stress. So no, don't give up. Just, you can redo it. So guys, we can stay on here forever, but we can't. But what you should do today, the people who are on here, if you're not sleeping well, you're not exercising well, your mental, you know, what they do, what Tifal and Chi do is holistic. I can tell it's holistic. They're going to dive into your mental health. They're going to dive into your sleep routine. They're going to dive into so much to help you with your wellness. So as soon as this is done, just go to their website, and invest in your life. Go to their website first. Then after you're done, you can come back and sign up for how I'm going to help you get wealthy, how I'm going to help you build, you know, start that online business. But go to them first, because it's not, my online business coaching is not going to work if you're not healthy or you're not sleeping well, right?
Yeah. No, thank you for that
endorsement. Today, I forgot to say, I was supposed to say at the beginning that for today for your show, our merch is 20% off today. So this is one of our tags. Half fab and t-shirts and hoodies and all that.
We have minis,
thank you so much for having us on. It was an excellent conversation. It was great speaking with you about this, something that we're very passionate about. And
thank you so much, Dr. IYABO. And again, we like to stress that a lot of people just need the help, because not because they don't want to, but because they don't know how to. So many people out there want to get healthy, want to live a healthy lifestyle, want to be a better version of themselves. They just don't know. We will help you get there. We'll bust some myths. We will do that. So this has been awesome.
Thank you.
All of you who've been watching us today, thank you so much for making time. We know your time is valuable. Thank you for making time for us today. Go visit our website, be part of the fight, tifachi.com. Get merch in the store. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And somebody just posted a comment. I don't want to ignore it, because she is right. She's one of the women in my community, Adaku Eforibe. She says that we were talking about skin, right? She said, apart from good health and well-being, staying away from bleaching creams also helps. And you're correct. You are correct. Yes, women want to look good by bleaching their skin and becoming what they're not. And that's another topic for another day, but those things contain steroid creams that will totally affect your health from your brain downwards. But yes, avoid bleaching creams and just do it the natural way. Eat your avocados and pears and bananas and your green stuff and drink water and green tea. I believe green tea helps my skin a lot. It does. So thank you guys. The replay is going to be on my YouTube. So it will get even more views, but I'm going to put your website and all your information in the description as well. And I'm going to send you the link. Your picture will be on the handle as well. So keep up the good work. We will
Thank you
schedule
so
a
much.
part 2.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye,
Bye, guys.
everyone.
Bye-bye. See ya. Bye-bye. Okay.